Hey everybody, welcome back to the HIT.OR.DIE podcast with your hosts Jake Saldati and Chad Rothford here on this beautiful
rainy.
Yet beautiful rain. Hate the rain. Love the cold. Hate the rain.
What is it about the rain?
I don't like being wet with clothes. Like, you know, if we were supposed to shower with clothes on, then the rain makes sense.
I get you. I used to hate getting wet when you're not anticipating getting wet.
Yeah, because I mean the clothes just stick to your body or get heavy, and I don't know. It's just I don't like the rain. I know we need it for where we live, but like we don't need it.
You don't like it.
I don't like it. I'm not a rain guy. Plus, you know, playing football in the rain sucks. Playing sports in the rain sucks. Rainouts.
You don't like playing football in the rain?
No, dude.
No.
Why would you like playing football in the rain?
I don't know.
We had our last game was it was against Madera High in my senior year. It was our senior night, and it was mud. It was just mud bowl. It was the mud bowl. So imagine, and like when we do our pregame with ARAX, I don't know if he's still like this, but we did like our whole freaking playbook against our defense, like before the game, like so we were muddy, like.
It's already like you played a whole game.
Yeah,
already.
We were blocking, down blocking, cut blocking, and then we got to go out for senior night with our parents. We're already muddy. Our uniforms aren't even clean for senior pictures with our parents, and it was a freaking joke, man. He's, whatever. But that's why would I want to play football in the mud, dude? Then my gloves are muddy. I was the best tight end in the valley at that time, and I was the PAT holder too. It's just anything that I don't know, mud. Then you just don't look as good. My spat got messed up. You can't see the spat.
Hey, people are particular. It's a good thing. Sometimes. Hey, speaking of football, here in the central section, California area, you sent me a picture of a picture of like a guy that was short of the end zone. Clearly, so can you give it the context?
Okay, so it was Bakersfield Christian.
Okay,
at Bakersfield Christian against Edison
High School,
Fresno,
High School.
In
as a first
Division
round,
II first round,
the playoffs. Okay,
overtime. Bakersfield decided to go for 2-point conversion to win the game.
Okay.
The video shows from the Bakersfield sideline, which is on the opposite side of the photo, and it was a toss sweep to the left, and it sees him going in, and all you see is the ref, doing the touchdown.
Signal touchdown.
So you're not thinking anything, right? Because the video is coming from this side. They storm the field. They win the game.
Yeah.
This picture came out 2 days later from almost where the referee is in the end zone, kind of. And it clearly looks like the runner's knee's about to be down 2 yards short of the goal line.
Yeah, it was. That's what I thought. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, that guy's 2 yards short. And I didn't know if that was a deciding, touchdown.
That was the 2-point conversion to win the game in overtime.
Yeah,
and I get they were down in Bakersfield. I mean, again, I said David Carr is my favorite Bulldog of all time. Like, he's the offensive coordinator. His brother Darren is the head coach at Bakersfield. Do they play a little favoritism down there towards them?
Well,
the Carr family is kind of like,
but they're usually pretty good every year, right?
No. I'm not saying Bakersfield's not good. They're really good.
You're saying the referees maybe have. I mean, I don't.
It's like that one. Did you see last week or something? The first down call, the guy.
Yeah, move the ball. You just
the
move.
Flag goes here, and he grabs the ball and moves it forward.
I mean, but that whether or not the refs are like that down there, I don't think that.
I don't know.
That's not. But that's what Christians doing.
But that's what people are questioning.
People, obviously, yeah.
The refs.
You see that, and for somebody not knowing anything about the situation, I'm saying that guy's short. Clearly. So I mean, I get where that point is.
Bakersfield and Fresno. It's a rivalry. Between like even in junior college, Bakersfield didn't want to come to Fresno for the Final Four. They'd rather or like the Valley Championship game. Remember, they were trying to figure out a place.
A neutral site.
We wanted the Fresno Grizzlies Stadium. Bakersfield didn't want to drive 2 hours, which arguably is
if you're the one seed or the home team, I wouldn't want to
drive either. And I feel like that's why it needs to go back to Or open up 3 sites, open the Visalia one, the Fresno one, and the Bakersfield. Whichever one's the top seed plays at one of those sites, which stays in your city.
Well, they did that for baseball. I know Stockdale played, was it Rigetti? Who'd they play in Division One? I forget who it was already. It's been that long.
Yeah, because
there was a coast school.
Because this last year, everybody you got to play, or the last 2 years, you got to play at your home field, right?
Correct. This year was at Fresno State, and then they used Rawhide's facility
for the Southern
for D1, and I didn't remember. I thought it was, I guess it's about the same distance. People have to correct me if I'm wrong, but they could have just played at Stockdale. I know that it doesn't seat as many people as a Rawhide would, so I don't know.
But I always thought that was the awesome thing about high school was like packing the stadium, like standing room only. Like when Bullard beat Golden West in the 1999 Valley Championship game, it was like unbelievable just to see everybody there, the stands full, standing room only. Like I get going and playing at like Grizzly Stadium or Rawhide or, Bakersfield Junior College. The atmosphere is nicer with stadium, but like you're at your own field and the thing is packed. It's just like when we played in the Final Four at Fresno City. Like Fresno City doesn't hold very many at all. It's really small.
Yeah.
But a lot of the coast
it'll fill up down the lines though. I've been there,
and when it does, it gets loud and it's I think that takes away the home field advantage of playing somewhere neutral. I like getting, just pack it in. Freaking, we used to do it. But yeah, I just think back to our original thing with the Bakersfield thing. I just think I don't know what the call. I mean, obviously they said he was in the end zone, but I don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to gripe about it or.
I mean, I guess you kind of have to. That's a bad way to end your season.
But if if he's down, Edison wins.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They wouldn't have to play anymore. Yeah. It's either he's down, Edison wins, he's in, Bakersfield wins. I don't know. Obviously, he's in. It sucks to be Edison to have to lose like that if that is true.
I haven't. That's the only thing I've seen of it. I haven't even looked into any more beyond that. But so there's plenty more football left to go then around here in the Valley. I haven't followed or paid close enough attention. So, but I thought that was something worth bringing up.
Well, did you? Okay, so it's talking about high school football, and since we do have an audience outside of our area.
Yeah.
There's a running back. It's a white kid too. He's a running back that has like 4,000 yards or like it's ridiculous. Like he just broke, was it Derrick Henry's record he broke a record for yards in a season. I mean, he was averaging like 400 yards on the ground a game. And to me, like, I look at that and everybody's like, oh, look at this record. And I'm just like, who are you playing? Who are you playing to have 400 yards rushing? And like, he doesn't even look like a physical white kid. Like, he just looks like a normal white kid that goes out there. Like, Derrick Henry was at least 6'3", freaking 220 in high school. Running guys over and stuff. Reggie Bush was Reggie Bush in high school. We've seen video of him in San Diego. Like, and I'm not trying to knock the kid because he's a white kid or whatever. I'm not saying he's athletic. No,
he doesn't look physical.
No, I actually love it. I mean, they just had the first cornerback. The first cornerback in since like 2003.
Yeah, I would say that
white guy for the Commanders or something.
The Kelsey brothers brought that up on their podcast. It was like. I forget, because the white guys can't play cornerback. It's just why they don't play cornerback. It was funny, and like people gave them shit for it, and I'm like, dude, they were clearly making a joke.
It's true too.
Yeah,
like let's be honest.
Yeah, it was fun. I thought it was
black
hilarious.
athletes are just more athletic.
Yeah. What was the one? Oh my god, it's from a movie talking about the heel bone. Or did you see that?
No,
I don't remember what it was on, but that's why they're better. And I'm just like, dude, stop.
Yeah,
just stop it.
But that's just why I look at this like
you see.
I'm like, who is he playing? It's like IMG going to play that Canadian team in their 96-0 at halftime. Like who are you playing? Are you and that's why it bugs me, like the record kind of things and stuff, because we just had a kid from Sunnyside here that broke Trent Tompkins' single season passing record, and I'm just like, don't get me wrong. Passing, catching, like it's amazing the stats he has, but you're also playing against NYL opponents where Trent did it against the track, did it against, in the preseason, they had teams come from all over California to play against. Like, he did it against really good competition.
You're kind of saying not all records are created equal.
Yes, and I'm not trying to knock
this.
The
Not
record
people take it. People are going to take it that way.
The quarterback
That's just
at
how people.
Sunnyside, Wilson, is really good.
I've heard nothing but phenomenal.
Yeah,
things.
and I'm not trying to take anything away from him. And it's nice that he's staying at Sunnyside, that he's not going and transferring to Buchanan or Central or something like that, or Clovis West. And he's staying there and doing this, and I'm not trying to knock the record, because what he did is great, and he's got
You're just
really
saying
good wide
if there's
receivers.
a difference from doing it from one to another.
Yes, I mean what if Trent Tompkins played in the NYL?
Would there be more?
Yeah,
His records would be a little more padded.
You would think.
Hey, he was a pretty good sport, congratulating the kid too on social media. I thought that was really cool.
And I saw his mom.
I was listening to I forget what his show's called on ESPN Radio, but Gabe's show. He had their coaches on from Sunnyside, and they just raved about the kid. I've heard Pags talk really good things about him. So I mean, it's cool. I mean, anytime you can achieve a record, you're doing something special, right? But I mean, I get what you're saying, and people always take that the wrong way. You're hating. You're a hater.
I'm not hating, because I've said nothing but nice things about the kid, and he's a really good quarterback, and he's going to do big things. But
no, I get it.
I mean, I played in the NYL for 3 years of my high school career, and
was it
played
good?
In the track at seniors. It was great, man.
Was it?
The NYL was really
Bro,
good.
I don't remember.
10-run ruling, Roosevelt and McLean.
I'm talking about football
and Hoover. Yeah, it was really good.
I don't remember.
Roosevelt.
I don't remember. I mean, McLean's baseball program was fairly decent back in the day.
Back in the 90s and 80s and 90s.
Late 90s.
Not in the 2000s.
No. They have won some.
Sunnyside was garbage back then.
I
mean, the NYL was terrible. What we got in the track, and we didn't even make the playoffs. I mean, it did, But I'm just saying, like, go put like those teams in the track, and like he's not doing that.
There's an argument to say.
There's an argument.
Yes.
There's an argument.
Yeah, I got you. But
I am praising him for not leaving Sunnyside
and the record.
But he might leave Sunnyside now.
Nah.
So I don't know.
I do want to shout out those that messaged and reached out last week. I kind of referenced how many people have listened to every episode, and I got some people reaching out and via text or DMs on social media about them listening to all the episodes. Even some of my family, my aunts, my cousin. I know my cousin Andrina is a massive, like, everything she listens to, and there was a lot of people that just reached out, and I appreciate that. We both do. So that was pretty cool. I didn't expect that. So
I got to shout out Nick Jackson. He's I've known him since, I don't know, he played football with my brother at Bullard, and like all the way from Pop Warner. He said he was the first one on YouTube. So,
really?
Yeah. I just saw him at Dick's the other day. I was getting CJ new golf shoes, and he was there with his kid, and he gave us a shout out. He said he listens to every episode too. He's a truck driver, so shout out to Nick Jackson. I told him I would, so go get some of get on that radio on the truck driver and get everybody on the HIT.OR.DIE podcast.
Yeah, no, there was some other gentleman up in Northern California, a friend of Greg Gonzalez, but Matt Craig.
Oh, yeah.
Reached out, and a lot of good things. We'll have to get him on. He's a coach up in the northern area, and just kind of get maybe a difference of perspective. It's just different baseball up there, so maybe here in the offseason we'll try to set that up. Dude, the other thing is, like, with all the football games, like, I mean, the Raiders, we're talking football. I don't know where. This is not a football podcast.
No, this is whatever podcast.
But today, it's, baseball's over, so.
We'll get to that.
Just thought, like, I don't know where to start. And I know that, there is a Raiders show out there locally who you coached, Art. Raider Talks, shout out.
I work with a bunch of Raider guys, and I don't know, man. Like, I just don't. You're up 17-0 and can't put it away, and
for a third time,
you have 230 yards passing in the first half. Devontae had 140 yards with 2 touchdowns, and then 15 yards in the second half. Carr 30-some yards in the second half. I don't get it. I don't know who do you blame it on? I mean,
I would assume it starts with coaching, correct? I mean,
I don't know.
You blow 3 17-point leads, and we're not even halfway through this.
And now people are saying he's just trying to blow it so he gets a young quarterback in the draft and get rid of Derek. I don't know. I think, statistically, Derek's been a really good quarterback. Obviously, fans want to win.
I think that's an excuse. You've blown 3 17-point
Was your
leads.
defense that good then?
No, obviously not. And again, I said it last time. I am no guy to be up here spouting off football. Listen, I love to watch it. Maybe you know a little bit, but I am nowhere a person to critique.
I played enough Madden and NC2A football
to where you can. Hey,
I'm Nick Saban the second.
I think it starts with coaching though. Like, how does that happen? How do you blow 13 or 17-point leads? Like when you're clearly looking like the dominant team, the better team.
Well, why do you change what you're doing? Like, I get the defense makes adjustments, and the Jaguars probably made some adjustments, but like, I'm throwing Devontae the ball 30 freaking times. Like, I don't care. I'm giving the ball to Jacobs 25 plus times. Like, I don't care. Those are my horses. That's who I'm going with. I'm paying them the big bucks. Derek Carr's getting big money. I'm throwing to him. I don't have Waller. I got Renfro and Devontae, and I'm throwing them the ball. I'm giving them the opportunity to catch the ball. I don't care. I don't know though. I don't know. It just looked like. I mean, even at the last drive, it looked like 4th and 2. Just run the ball. You drop back to pass. Just go get 2 yards real quick. Like, I don't know. And he's a great quarterback, and I like Derek Carr. I do. It's 2 yards. Like, we threw the ball 3 times.
Hey.
I don't know. And one wasn't even, like, to Devontae, it was out of bounds. Like, it wasn't even, give him an opportunity to catch the ball. I don't know, dude. It just sucks because there are some, like, players from Fresno that I really care about. Like, Derek's one of them. That's why I like rooting for the Raiders, because Derek Carr. And it hurts because I just want him to do so good. And obviously you hear all the haters and,
Well, they were hyped up, man. Like, even I was on that hyped up train of even them winning the division potentially. And it's been pretty crazy, man, to see. The Dogs,
the Bills lost.
Yeah, I mean, that was, and Allen didn't play particularly well, but I mean, the Jets, dude, it's been a random kind of football season, to be honest.
Saleh is good, man.
Yeah.
He's got.
I mean, look at the Packers. The Packers have struggled mightily. It's, Tampa wins it late. They'd struggled recently.
Yeah.
It's been, the Giants and the Jets are, for some reason, just out of nowhere. Like, I don't think anybody expected the season to go. I mean, look at Seattle. I was shitting on Seattle to start. Like, they had no shot. And they just keep on winning games.
Yeah, there's word of Denver going out and getting Geno Smith.
Let's ride. That's funny right there. The Dogs celebrated a big win over the weekend over Hawaii.
Was it a big win?
I
mean, come on, bro. Like,
this
is what I'm talking about. They celebrate a big win against somebody they should have won against.
They're all big wins if they win out. You just don't love them. You just don't love them. I'm convinced. You don't love them.
I don't.
So that's why I take your comment with the
I am happy that Mims had 100 and something yards rushing. So.
But my point going into even like the NFL, the Dogs, is like the ads. I am ready for tomorrow's. This will be out Tuesday, voting day, November the 8th. I'm ready for it to be done. I'm ready for it to pass. I can't on social media, on TV. I see the same attack ads 9 times a day.
Well, that's all they do is attack each other. They don't say anything good about themselves or what they bring. Bring.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about them attacking this party, and that's your commercial.
Yeah, because
what can you do for me besides attack the other guy? Like,
it involves them answering questions. I'm just over it, and it's like it. I mean, maybe it's gonna slow down. I don't know. It won't, because politics never sleeps. It's like Vegas. The intensity is not going to stop. Social media doesn't stop. It doesn't go to bed.
No.
It's up. Nothing's off limits, so it seems. But it's mainly the ads. I just can't. I'm over it.
Have you been getting text messages?
No, but my wife asked me that yesterday.
Oh, man.
She's like, did you get it? And I'm like, no, I didn't. I have not gotten one text message, phone call, nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just ready for it to be done. It's enough. Like, it's hard to go on and just scroll stuff. It's just, I'm over it.
Yeah.
But the 2022 season, Chad, MLB season is over.
Yeah, I called it.
Come to an end.
I was right for once.
The Astros take down the Phillies 4 games.
I think I said 6.
4 games to 2. I don't remember. I have to play it back.
Yeah,
you probably did.
Don't quote me, but I probably did.
And what, dude? I don't know about you, but I thought it was a good series.
I thought it was a great series, man.
And people were like,
I'm so mad people are hating on it. I'm so mad.
They were, even to start, it's like you got a third place team. They don't belong. Whatever. You know what I mean?
Who cares, dude? The Giants didn't belong when they played Detroit.
10 was the one I was like, they came out of the wild card that year.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like I was talking to one of my buddies at work that's a Dodgers guy, right? We had an argument about the Dave Roberts thing. Like when you win in the regular season, it doesn't matter when you get to the playoffs. You're 0-0. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. So everybody's like 111 wins and blah, 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 and Dave Roberts this and that. It doesn't matter. Because the guys that come in last in that wild card are thinking, we're 0-0. While you're thinking, we won 111 games, we're going to blow through the playoffs. These guys are like, all we wanted was a chance. And now we got a chance. We're 0-0. Let's go give it to everybody because nobody's expecting us to win anyways. And the Phillies got hot. They freaking raked through everybody. And, you know, they got a team that was hot too. The Astros were just hot.
They earned their way there. You can't argue they didn't earn their way there.
No, yeah.
I mean, 87 wins during the regular season in a tough division that saw 3 teams make the postseason.
Yep.
So, and they took down St. Louis on the road, Atlanta on the road. And honestly, you know, I mean, the San Diego series was 2 teams that are playing with a lot of momentum.
Yep.
They get to the World Series, and they're playing arguably one of the top 2-3 best teams in baseball, or complete teams. Whatever, if you don't want to go by wins, I mean, they won a lot of games too.
Arguably one of the most complete teams in the last 6 years.
Yeah, we'll get into that too. But I thought it was a good series, man. And in fact, they had some momentum. You know, they go and split, and we covered this last week. Split on the road, games 1 and 2, win game 1, lose game 2. But they're coming back to Philly tied up with a chance to even win the whole thing at home in front of their fans.
Yep.
And they go out and win game 2 or game 3, and they just explode. They hit a lot of home runs.
Yeah.
7 runs on 7 hits. 5 of those hits were home runs. And they shut out. The pitching was excellent. Shuts out at Houston. And they won game 3, 7-0. And you're thinking, this could happen. Like, are they gonna be able to upset this? I mean, that's a pretty dominant win considering like home runs can be deflating. You hit 5, right? But only two hits out of the 7, or 5 out of the 7 were home runs. So it's not like they were doing a lot of damage. It was the long ball.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of showed its head in game 4, where 24-hour period it's a completely different game.
Yeah.
Like, talk about the ultimate punch back, right? You get knocked in the mouth game 3, and Astros go combined no-hitter in game 4.
And they easily could have been just like, oh, we just got throttled 7-0.
Easy. You know, Christian Javier starts the game, and he was good last year out of the pen a couple times. Gets the start, and I think he went 6, strikes out 9.
And people are like, why didn't he keep going? He had 97 pitches.
Yeah, his pitch count was up, yeah.
I see that.
Because there was a couple moments like that in the series where, we'll get into game 6, where I was like, whoa. You questioned some of that stuff, but he was pushing 100 pitches, and I didn't have any issues with it, and the bullpen did what they were supposed to do. They got I think
lowest ERA in the history of the World Series, by the way, by a bullpen. Just throwing that out there.
That was impressive, man. So you turn around after getting smashed offensively, not putting up any runs, to get that pitching performance, complete combined no-hitter, 4 guys. I didn't have all the names off here, but and then Schwarber kind of off to the game, just kind of like, I don't really give a shit. He was asked about,
being in history, going down in history.
Kind of just don't really.
I like that response.
Yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to sit there and cry?
By the way, the interviews during the game and then the questions that they're getting asked were the worst fucking questions I've ever heard in the history of media. Like, why are you asking these questions?
Well, and there's no urgency to get through it. Like, there's no urgency to get done with it.
Everybody saw Harper call Baum over and tell him something.
Right.
right? And then Braum hits a home run. Every fucking person that interviewed him asked him what he said. You really think they're going to tell you what they said if they saw something? And like you could tell Braum was getting tired of answering that same question.
I saw 4 videos of it being asked.
And I'm just like, guys, shut the fuck up. Start asking him about the game or something else. You're not going to get something personal like that out of like what they talk about. Like, come on, dude. It was just fucking annoying because who was not Vasgersian, but whoever was in the dugout asked him. Verducci asked him after the damn home run.
I think Rosenthal.
And then he got asked 3 more times in interviews. It's like everybody's trying to get a story, right? That's what it's all about. Trying to get a story. Maybe he'll say something.
Because clearly they picked something up.
Yeah.
But no, they're not going to disclose that.
No.
It's not happening.
No, and it's just it was annoying just asking the same question over and over again. And that's why it's like when Schwarber's in there, it's like, how do you feel about making history? Like, how do you think he feels? They just fucking got no hit.
In the World Series.
He's like, oh man, it's great. I'm gonna be in history for getting no hit in the World Series. You think he's fucking happy about that? No.
And now
he's like, I don't give a shit.
Game 5, is monstrous.
Yes.
Like they're all big, right? It's the World Series. I'm just saying, like, you have that game 3 and you're thinking you're on cloud 9.
Yep.
And and so quickly within, again, like a day, it comes all back down. Like this is baseball and every day is a new day. Mm-hmm. And you never know what team's coming to the ballpark and who shit's good and who shit's not. Right? Wheeler went 0-2 and I thought he pitched good in game 6, but so you get through the no. And game 5, Phillies go Noah Syndergaard. They with the rain out, I think it would have been Wheeler on 5 days rest. And they decide to, knowing regardless it's going back to Houston, they elect to go Syndergaard and give Wheeler basically 2 days.
Yeah.
Which, whatever. Syndergaard was fine.
I thought he threw good. I thought he threw well enough to stay in.
3 innings, gave up 2 runs, 4 strikeouts, 3 hits. It wasn't bad. Connor Brogdon, our local product here from the Valley, Fresno City guy, Lewis and Clark, Liberty Ranchos, Madera, comes in after that, 2 innings, 5 Ks, no hits. He just shut him down, dude. He was dealing that. He looked really good. And just to shout Connor out for the World Series, he pitched 4 innings, had 7 Ks, 3 hits, no walks. Pretty damn good out of the pen. Mm-hmm. Just congrats to him, man. He's a really good dude. Super humble, goes to work. I mean, all the guys around here that have made it, that they're all kind of the same makeup. It's funny, you hear Lab talk about that kind of stuff, and you kind of see some of those pieces in all these guys that are up there, at least the guys that we know. Yeah. So, but congrats to Connor. I didn't want to forget to throw that out there, man. It's pretty cool. Pitched really well on the biggest stage. Couldn't be more happy for him and his family. His parents are awesome, great supporters of ours. She broke up a no-hitter, dude.
She did.
She broke it up. They could have had 2. So, but shout out Connor.
Yeah, she didn't tweet after it. She didn't tweet on game 4.
Game 4, I know. But then the clincher, game 6, they head back, and it's Wheeler and Framber Valdez, and he was money, man. And the Wheeler pitched fine. I thought Wheeler was good. In fact, the Phillies get that go-ahead home run in the 6th to take the lead. Scored first, and I think with 70 pitches, it was 2 on for Yordan Alvarez, and he made the move to go to Alvarado. Let's be real, man. The guy throws a pretty hard sinker, 99 miles an hour, 98 miles an hour, but he's been seen a few times in the series.
By who?
Yordan Alvarez, who's top 3, top 4 hitter in the American League, easy, and an MVP candidate. I felt like Wheeler was fine. With Bregman, I think, on deck, I guess I'm going to take my chance with it. I gave him 2 days rest to pitch this game.
Yeah.
So we talk about losing with your horse. I felt like if Yordan's going to beat anybody, I want him to beat Wheeler. And I get matchup. I know everybody likes the matchup stuff. That's just the way baseball is, what the numbers say, so on and so forth. But that wasn't my best pitcher.
No, and if you go back to his last at bat against him, what did he do? First pitch, he hit him. That inning, yes, in game 4 when shit got out of hand. and it was either game 4 or game 5. He pitched the most out of the bullpen, Alvarado.
Alvarado did.
And, like, yeah, he throws up to 101, I think we saw, and with a hard slider. But that's it. Like, and I'm not saying, like, that's it. Like, it's easy to hit.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
You got 2 pitches, you know, you take away one or whatever. Wheeler's been pitching him good during the game, you know, has a really good sinker as well, cutter. I don't know. I just feel like you give him a shot there. I feel like Alvarado or Jordan is like, cool, I've seen Alvarado multiple times, probably more times than he's seen Wheeler, but maybe not because a starter. But I'm just saying, like, I want somebody out that I'm not doing good against, and I want to bring somebody in that I've had success, and not even just a lot of success. I mean, he hit me. I'm knowing that he's coming in trying to face me. He's got to give me his best too. So I don't know. On paper it looks good, but then again, it's like Wheeler's 70 through 6. Give him a chance, keep him going.
Well, he hadn't gotten himself knocked out of the game.
Or pitch.
I think
around.
He walked a guy there. I mean, a couple base runners. I get it, but the time was what, 1-0.
Yeah, and where the hits weren't even hit hard.
So yeah, one was I think an infield single to Gurriel or swinging bunt. I don't remember the sequence, but that's where I don't know. Like that's where the numbers kind of again we don't know what's going on. And I saw Schwarber talk about it after the game, and I totally agree with him. You know, and he kind of backed his manager, as all players are usually going to, but said, like, we all trust, you know, Thompson's instincts, what, you know, the moves he's going to make. He's not going to put us in, he's not trying to put us in positions to fail or lose. And I think Wheeler as a competitor was probably frustrated coming out of that game. And that, I mean, I was just thinking, like, why'd you guys give this guy extra days? Like, then, I mean, 5 days rest, go up, bring him, pitch him at home. You know, I mean, I would like him on the road too, so I get that. But I mean, if he's going to lose if somebody's going to lose the game, I would, you know, he hadn't got knocked around.
Yeah,
I don't know. That was my thing on it. And then so Jordan goes. He has his Jorge Solera moment last year in Game 6 in Houston. Jorge Soler hit an absolute,
and we've been talking
behemoth.
He hasn't done anything in the whole.
No,
World
he
Series.
hasn't. He's kind of struggled a little bit throughout the postseason.
And we were talking, and we both were. I was like, dude, he's due at some point. Yeah. And I text you right after he hit that. I mean, that was a freaking shot, dude.
Yeah. That's cranking on one. And then you saw I saw some people commenting on his scissor. Like, that was natural. That just, you know what I mean? That's how much torque that guy created. That's just what had to happen for him to stay upright.
Him scissoring had nothing to do with him hitting a home run. That's just his swing. Like, everybody's out there going to try scissoring hitting baseballs now.
And they're not going to hit anything.
No.
So then, what was it, the 8th inning? Schwarber's up there, 2 outs, 1-2, 0-2 count. And he shows bunt, and this was the other thing I want to ask you, is like, have you seen any explanation as to why? I can't find anything.
I don't know.
Somebody asked that question. There was a reporter somewhere. There's a report on it. I've searched it. I can't find anything. I just why I didn't get that.
I don't either. I mean, I could see OO. You know, they're probably playing a
show
shift,
it or something.
Whatever.
I don't know.
But with 2 strikes, like, you have the potential to bring the game, you know, to 2.
Well, you've had some pretty big home runs, some pretty big moments in the postseason, let alone the World Series. You hit the bomb to score first for Philly in that game.
I mean, does he just feel overmatched? Does he just feel in his head like,
I don't know. I mean,
he only hit 2 something. It wasn't like he's a good hitter.
Well, listen, that they struck out a lot. The Phillies did. Yeah. Their offense did not.
Well, and that's another thing that bugged me is, like, as good as they did in the World Series, like, how they got there wasn't by the long ball.
No.
They did hit a couple good long balls against San Diego, but, you know, beating the Braves and the Cardinals, they didn't score their runs on home runs. They scored on manufacturing runs. And I think once they got to the World Series and hit some homers, then they got that in their head. Like,
I mean, they had some big hits from different, like, you know, there was opportunities this series where, you know, 2 strikes, guys didn't come through like they did in the DS and the CS. Mm-hmm. You know, like Segura had some big 2-strike hits that scored some knocks. I mean, Realmuto had a big home run there late. I think that was game one that took the lead in extras to give them that win. I mean, they had some big hits, but they didn't really do much with 2 strikes. I don't know. It was just, I don't know if it was just they just ran into a better team. More.
Well, they did.
You know what I mean? Like, the Astros don't play that way. Like, it's kind of like they have an identity, and that is whatever it takes to win. You know, we're gonna get along. We're gonna hit home runs here and there, and if we do, great, so be it.
Well,
but we're gonna get on base.
Whatever it takes, because then everybody's gonna be like, yeah, they cheat to win.
Well, they're not. That's not gonna. I said it. That's not gonna stop.
No. But I mean, you can't tell me that they're not good. They've been in the World Series.
I'm not referring to cheating and winning at all costs.
Yeah.
Within playing the game, their mentality is, if we hit home runs, we hit them.
Yeah.
Let's get on base. Let's create havoc.
I mean, they had some really good hit and runs.
They stole some bases.
I mean, Pena had really good 2-strike approaches. You know, I mean, they played baseball. They were the better team.
They don't live and die by long balls.
No.
And they can win some low scoring games because the bullpen's really good. Their starting pitching's really good. You know, I think the best team this season won. And I listen, I'm not an Astros fan. And I don't like what happened in 2017. But it was also 5 years ago. And at some point, you know, people got to move on, I guess, right? Well, maybe they don't. That's the great thing about all of it, is you don't have to.
Well, I mean, they still beat LA in 17. They did not cheat in games 6 and 7.
But it refers to them how many did they cheat to get there? How many did they cheat during the season?
Nobody will ever know. Nobody will ever know.
So,
but on the biggest stage at the biggest time,
in 2022, I don't think they cheated. I think they won. They were the better team.
What? I was watching Framer closely, and when they did the balls and stuff, it had to be sweat, bro. He's getting sweat on the ball.
There's another thing out there.
There's nothing
of a pitcher talking about
there.
it. Yeah,
there's nothing there. You sweat right here, and that's where he's going. Like, I'm sweating now. You know, like, and your hands in your glove, like, there's sweat there. Because I always did it. You know, people want to lick, right? And you're not allowed to. I think to moisture up the ball would make it a little bit more sticky, I guess, because that's what it does. And I think he was going to sweat to get it on the ball. I don't know. That's the way. There was nothing on his hand.
They check everything. They check the hands, the hat, blah, blah, blah. Again, if the Phillies saw something or thought something, and I know there's a clip of Thompson going out there discussing with the umpire, God knows what, nobody knows, during the game, game 6, they would have found it.
Yeah.
They would have stopped the game. They would have questioned something. They would have pulled what Buck Showalter did to Joe Musgrove. Like, it's the World Series.
Yeah.
Right? If you think somebody's doing something they shouldn't be, it would have been called out right then and there. It wasn't. But people, again, like to shit on the Astros because of it. That's never going away. Like you said about the political stuff, the social media it doesn't sleep, man. They're not going to stop. They'll never stop going at the 17 team or the Astros in general.
Did you see that interview of the Astros fan? That the interviewer was like, "What do you have to say for all the fans out there that still think that you guys cheated or in 17?" He's like, "Fuck y'all."
I mean, listen, if Major League Baseball really dove into
everybody,
organizations during that time, I think baseball would be borderline dead.
I mean, just like if you went back to the steroid era and saw if you knew everybody that was using steroids, people's minds would be blown.
The Astros got caught and they had to fall on the sword. The Red Sox got caught. There's a bunch of other teams.
Yeah, nobody's saying anything about the Red Sox.
I mean, they paid. Well, I don't know who paid. They
won in 18.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm just saying there's a reason why a lot of stuff won't come out or never came out. And, you know, that's
because it will just be really bad for baseball.
Yes, 100%.
Because there's going to be so many teams that are doing stuff or that have done stuff.
So yeah, back to Schwarber's bunt in the 8th. I never saw anything. Safe to say you didn't agree with that, right? Don't know.
I think he just thought he was done.
Nah, I don't think so. Not that guy.
Well, then it makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense to me, but I don't think he's that type of dude. I like watching him play.
Yeah, nothing is shorter.
All of that to say, the Astros ultimately take down, again, the Philadelphia Phillies, 4-2, and Dusty Baker is now a World Series champion manager, which I was happy for. I like Dusty Baker, always have, and for him to win as many games as he has and be around Major League Baseball as long as he has, for him to finally get one, it's pretty awesome, man. I don't think anybody would disagree. Maybe there's some few that did, some haters out there.
If you disagree with that, then you just need
I'm
to
on
never
both.
watch baseball again.
I'm on both sides, man. I like seeing Bryce Harper and Connor Brogdon pick up a ring too, as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was tough. You got Reese Hoskins, the Sac State boy, up there in the big stage too. So
You can't hit.
he struggled, man. There's some big hacks, dude. There was a couple times where I'm like, man, that's not what they need right now. They need to get on base. That's what I'm talking about with the Astros. Get on base and create chaos. It doesn't, and you never know. Let's get 2 guys on, and then sure enough, Yordan Alvarez is up. You just made it that much more difficult for somebody to pitch to him, or you forced the starter out of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you give up a few home runs. 7 hits, 5 are home runs. I mean, again, that's damage on the scoreboard, but you're trying to do that every game?
No.
It doesn't play. So, and I think it kind of showed that a little bit. They got a little long ball happy, and it just didn't come through. But yeah, again, congrats to Dusty Jeremy Pena, rookie, World Series MVP,
ALCS MVP.
ALCS MVP, hit 400, 400 in the 400 in the World Series, 10 for 25, 5 runs, 1 home run, 3 ribbies, and played a pretty damn good shortstop. I love that.
I originally was thinking Presley.
2 saves.
3.
We had 3 saves.
Either 2 saves and
I think it was 2 saves.
He came in and stopped. He had 3 appearances in 6 games. I know that for sure.
Do you have one in that extra inning game? And then
no, maybe 4 appearances, but I know he came in and he finished 3 games, 3 of the 4 wins. But then I saw Pena's stats, and he had some big hits, clutch hits.
Presley had 2 saves for the World Series. Wheeler went 0-2. Valdez was 2-0 for the World Series.
And that could have been another guy.
I mean, Bregman had a decent World Series. Nothing crazy, but had some big hits. Defensively, he made a couple plays, dude, that I still haven't gotten talked enough about. The little slow roller coming in, making a play. But Pena, that's great, man. To see there was a clip.
Correa interview him.
Yeah, it goes back to Correa and then Pena. I saw a clip after a video kind of making a claim that the Astros are the biggest dynasty now in baseball. And I'm not sure if it was meant current or baseball history. But the Astros are claiming to be the biggest dynasty in baseball. And I guess in this current climate, that's fair to say.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 World Series in 6 years, 7 years, 2 titles, 4 pennants. And it doesn't look like they're going anywhere. I'm sure they'll be back in the running next year. Yeah. Free agent market's going to be very interesting. I think Verlander's on there. But there's a lot of potential for them to go out and grab guys. And they don't need a whole bunch, really. So whatever they do get is just...
Well, and think they played this World Series and playoffs without Michael Brantley.
Yeah, Guy Ricks.
So...
I just thought in the history of the game, I'm going back to
I think current.
Yeah. Because the Yankees were...
It could be an argument.
Yeah.
But
the Yankees 96 and then three-peat the Giants from 10 to 14, 10, 12, 14, 3 and 5 is pretty impressive.
But the Giants also didn't win any pennants. Or they won one pennant at that time. That's where it's okay, you go off the team. And that's where I was arguing with some Dodger fans. Not arguing, but I was actually sticking up for them. You guys don't understand how big winning the division is.
Well, you downplay it.
Yeah, because everybody wants to win a World Series, but you can't win a World Series every year, but you can win your division every year.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something said about that. And it's like we said this before, like in the 90s when the Braves won 13, 14 straight, they only had one World Series title. Was anybody after Bobby Cox's head? Were they after Chipper Jones? Were they after David Justice, Maddox? Were they after those guys? I don't think so.
No, I mean, Bobby Cox was there till the end. Yeah, I think I was wondering. I never got the full content. I mean, today's era, yeah, I think you could call the Astros a dynasty. It's going to be an argument, which would be fun to have. I'm sure there's people out there that absolutely disagree, which is fine.
I mean, you could argue the Dodgers are a dynasty. They've six straight.
The A's in the 70s three-peated. You know, the Reds in the 70s won, I think, 2 World Series titles. The Yankees in the late 40s, 50s, into the 50s.
Yeah, it's got to be
like current. There's some pretty dominant teams that not only won multiple but went back to back, or again, you had the A's three-peat and the Yankees three-peat. So I don't know if it meant the all-time big dynasty or the era we're in as far as dynasty. So, and I don't think this does anything to change the perception of 2017. And it doesn't matter.
No.
Because people are on whatever side of the fence they're on.
Yeah.
It's like that with the Hall of Fame and guys like Bonds, guys like Pete Rose. You're either in or you're out. And I think whether the Astros win it, go back to back and win next year, I still don't think it matters. People are still either going to be in or they're going to be out.
Yeah.
So you're going to, you hate them or you don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
So.
Did you see that interview with Kate Upton and Verlander?
I saw a thing this morning on it, but I didn't look at it or watch it.
They were talking about him coming back, right? And she was like, I love watching what he does and living out his dream. And they made it about the Brady Giselle thing. How here's a wife,
Oh yeah, they compared it.
Yeah,
to,
saying she,
Yeah,
I just thought it was funny comparison because, I mean, Giselle has really done a lot for Tom Brady, and I think we can argue that Tom Brady should have kind of retired after that last Super Bowl.
I would have.
I mean,
go out on top, bro.
But it was just funny because people were like kind of jabbing at the Tom Brady thing.
It's interesting. I didn't see it. I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah,
but
and she was also flipping off Phillies fans and.
Well, hey, Mattress Man is $75 million richer.
But he put down
15, I think.
He put down 15 mil.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a guy here at work wanting me to put down some money on TCU to win the national title.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like, okay, so
you want to do it? You want to throw down some money on TCU?
Yeah. Do we just have 15 million lying around? Like that's what I'm saying.
Let me go to my
like,
sock drawer, Chad.
You have 15 million lying around. That's what I hate about him winning 75 million. The motherfucker was already a millionaire. Like,
made it worse.
Now, if somebody put down $100,000 or something,
yeah,
and won a fucking bunch of millions,
a bunch of millions.
I mean, that's where it's like I don't give a shit.
The rich getting richer.
He's about to die. You see that motherfucker?
He's no. Hey, but he barked back. He got some shit in Philly,
which is great.
Yeah,
good for him.
He let him have it.
I've heard some bad things about the Philly fans from that I've seen online about people going there for games 3, 4, and 5.
They're rough, no doubt about it.
Again,
Eagles fans,
and believe it or not, like we said, the Astros fans were great. I
was watching, so nobody cares about soccer. Well, I don't know. Maybe people do care about soccer that listen.
If you're Ted Lasso.
Hey, I saw a story. It was that the Phillies lose the World Series the same day the Philly soccer club for MLS, I don't know the name of it, they lost the MLS Cup same day Phillies lost World Series. So I think it was yesterday. It was on the replay
of the soccer game.
Yeah, the soccer game, dude. It was badass. Great finish. Came down to penalty kicks. LA tied it towards the closing minutes of the overtime period, and then won it on penalty kicks. It was sick. Anyway,
soccer's fun to watch.
World Cup's coming up, so yeah, maybe there's some interest out there for. Sure, locally around here, soccer's pretty big. I know, where I'm from, soccer was a big deal. Bullard used to have a really good soccer program.
Yeah.
I'm sure, I don't know if they still do, but
I don't know.
they were huge. I mean, it was real good program back when I was in high school.
Yeah, Bullard was just good at everything back in the day.
That's true, though. Not a lie. Free agent stuff. I mean, the MLPA Players Association came out, I think, this morning and just announced some guys opting out of contracts. You mentioned one. Ohtani's potentially going to sign a massive extension with the Angels.
Yeah, they don't know how many years, but they're looking at the money being, I guess Max Scherzer is the highest paid yearly in history.
Yes. Yeah.
They're looking at Ohtani to be above that. And everybody's just like, oh, he deserves this. I mean, I'm still not sold on the fact that, I mean,
he's pretty good, man.
He is good, and what he does is great. But like we've talked about, I think if you gave other people opportunities to pitch too and hit, I think we would have had people do this already.
I can't say you're wrong.
No,
I can't.
It's an argument, and I'm going to be wrong to everybody out there. But I just feel like to make
there's not enough that have done it to question whether he deserves it or not.
No.
So
but just to have him be the highest paid player yearly, I don't know.
Over a guy like,
I mean, technically you could give him $50 million for 1 year, and he's the highest paid in history for 1 year. So I mean, but
I guess if the Angels are looking to,
but like, do you want that? Are you more about like, yeah, I want to be the highest paid, or do I want to go somewhere and win?
Well, that's what I was under the impression that he wants to win. He was out. He was like, we're not going to.
Because what does that do? You have a $400 million contract in Trout. You have a $270-some million contract in Rondon that's only played 80 games in 5 years, and then you have freaking Ohtani going to be the highest paid player yearly, and they can't win. So what are you doing?
Well, maybe that's the pitch. The pitch is, well, I'm going to lock you up, and then we're going to go put money into all these
what money?
There's got to be more money.
That's what. How much money do you have? You have over $1 billion in these motherfuckers. You got more money to dish out?
I'm just saying, he was the reports were he wanted out because they weren't going to win. He was not looking to return.
Yeah.
When it came time for contract to free up, him making or taking on an extension tells me that maybe the Angels are going to
give him a lot of money.
I mean, maybe that's enough to stay and not win. I don't know.
Let's just say I have a yen for the game. What movie? Mr. Baseball.
Is it Mr. Baseball?
Yeah. They're asking him
I just watched it.
He loves
I just watched it.
Japan.
Jesus, I just watched it. Edwin Diaz signing a 5-year, $102 million deal with the Mets.
Yep.
And Jacob deGrom officially opted out of his contract. Player option to go back to the Mets. I think it was $30.5 million. Player option.
Yeah.
Now I could imagine somebody going at him for more. So I won't be surprised if he, I would anticipate it's going to be more than that, obviously. It's going to be interesting where all these guys land. The shortstop free agent market's interesting. I think I read something.
Rizzo opted out.
But I mean, that's maybe not because he wants to leave, but because he wants more. And if the Yankees are willing to give it to him, I'm sure he'll stay.
The Yankees have another guy to worry about right now.
I think so too. It's going to be, there's a lot of players on the market, Rodon opted out with the Giants. And I think he's going to I think his was 42 or 44 for 2 years. So, I mean, he's going to get a bump, as he should. He was really good this year. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to like a Kershaw.
I could see Rodon going to like the Dodgers.
Or to the Giants.
Again? No.
Spend the money.
No.
If you're going after a guy like Judge,
he wants to win.
You've got to surround
Judge ain't going anywhere. Judge is not going anywhere.
You heard it here first?
Sure.
Today?
Sure.
I mean, a lot of people said that. I said the same thing.
He's not going anywhere. And Giants fans and everybody, all they want is to be like hope and dream and whatever. The amount of taxes you're going to pay to play in California, you can make more money somewhere else. Why do you think Harper had more money given to him by the Giants than Philly? but you got to pay more taxes. You are going to lose money playing in California if you go play in another state. So if we're about money, I'm not trying to lose money by playing in a state.
I don't think he's leaving, even for that reason. I just feel like he's going to be a Yankee.
He has to be a Yankee.
I just don't understand why you would let him get away.
You can't.
What was the point of? I mean, if you're willing to go in on Cole, what's the point of going in on that kind of dough to not surround yourself with more guys?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Why are you going to pay one guy a lot of money and suck? I'm not saying the Yankees suck. I'm saying the idea of paying one guy on your roster a shit ton of money and then not be good.
Yeah, to win less than half his games.
Doesn't make sense.
I get it.
So I'm excited. You've got the MLB today actually announcing the finalists for MVP, Cy Young, Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, all that stuff. And then later, I think the 14th through the 17th, every day, MLB Network will be announcing the winners of each of those awards for the 2022 season.
But we also had the Players Awards.
Yeah.
Then the players voted Goldschmidt, the most outstanding player in the NL, and the players voted Aaron Judge as the
Is that something the writers you think followed suit with?
No, the writers can go shove it up their ass is what they can do.
So you're saying what they're going to announce in 2 weeks doesn't matter?
I feel like what my peers have to say, the ones I play against, I feel like that means more to me as a player besides these fucking fiddle me nuts that want to vote however they want to vote or write however they want to write. Because you know how close it's going to be with Ohtani and Judge?
Probably very close.
And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be close. Like, it shouldn't be. So I think with your peers voting for you as the best player in the American League, that says something.
Well, I think they got it right.
Yes, with both.
I think those are the two guys. The writers is a whole nother story. So we'll just have to wait and see, man. A couple weeks, we'll know. More hit or die to come. We're gonna round up some guests here and then keep plugging away. But the baseball season's finally done. Yeah. I don't have to go on there and tweet it's still baseball season anymore. You have some football playoff stuff coming up in the NC2A that I'm excited about. If you saw Bama lose, I think they're finally going to be like not in the picture. Depending on how things finish, right? You had Tennessee lose to Georgia at home, or was that Georgia? I think.
Yeah, Georgia.
So a little shake up there. Clemson went down big time to Notre Dame. I'm excited about the college football playoff, dude.
Well,
Michigan, Ohio State this weekend, which I despise Ohio State. So we'll be pulling for Michigan, even though I'm not a massive Michigan fan.
My family's from Michigan. So.
We should throw in and go take a random bet for the football playoff. Maybe when the playoffs come. I don't want to put money down on TCU and them not even get there.
They're not going to get in the playoffs.
You don't think so?
No.
Interesting. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be fun.
Somehow the Alabama will be in there.
Yeah, they'll make it. They'll make it work. Thanks, everybody.
Fresno State will not be there.
No, they will not this year, unfortunately, not be making the college football playoff. I think they're on the road at UNLV this weekend, though. So go watch the Dogs. Appreciate everybody listening. You can follow us on Twitter at HIT.OR.DIE Podcast, on Instagram at HIT.OR.DIE. Here on YouTube, please hit subscribe. And if you're listening, go head over to YouTube and hit subscribe. That is the 2022 season for the HIT.OR.DIE Podcast. But stick around. We'll have some more stuff for you in the next coming weeks. We'll follow the awards. That is another episode of HIT.OR.DIE.
HIT.OR.DIE.